As expected, late in the final full week of the month comes the Terraria State of the Game news update. And I'll just jump right into it. This is a big one, and you're going to want to stay tuned because there's a lot of big news in this one. They wrote, "Greetings, Terrarians. At long last, the cooler temperatures of fall are descending upon us. We hope that everyone is remaining safe out there and that back to school has gone well for those who have done so, be it virtually or in person. 2020 only has a few more months left, so hang in there. There's so much going on with Terraria right now, let's dive right in." Now, we're going to begin with this month's update with the PC version of Terraria, which is still the only version that's enjoying the Journey's End content. So, what's new with the PC version then? The 1.4.1 update for Terraria on PC is getting ever closer. We have pretty much wrapped up almost all of the additions, and the current focus for most of the team is on bug fixing and polish before we can get the latest juicy content into your hands. How much longer, you say? We're feeling pretty confident that we will have Terraria 1.4.1 in your hands sometime during the month of October. We're still nailing down a few pesky bugs where we're not sure how long they will take to fix, so we don't have an exact date just yet, but prepare now for the treats of 1.4.1 before Halloween. No tricks here. And so the rich get richer. The final real content patch for Terraria should be arriving before the end of October. Now that's good news, but it's also sad news, isn't it? They shared this image along with that news, showing some goodies on screen in the corruption biome. Very appropriate for a Halloween release, don't you think? Corruption and spooky items on the screen. And so this means that Relogic is nearly able to move on to some new unknown project. Hopefully. Now, the State of the Game update also mentions that the T-Mod Loader team is still hard at work porting T-Mod Loader to version 1.4 of Terraria. Mods are great, but 1.4 mods will be even greater. But enough about that, let's move on to the PS4 and Xbox One news. They wrote, "So, last month we had the big announcement that console and Switch Terraria development would be moving from Pipeworks over to DR Studios. We hope that everyone took some time out to thank Pipeworks for their efforts to bring Terraria 1.3 to consoles and to reflect on this era. Of course, that leads us directly into the next era of development for Terraria on consoles and Nintendo Switch. To be fully transparent, the DR Studios team has been mostly focused on getting Terraria Mobile 1.4 over the finish line. More on that in the mobile section. However, we wanted to take a minute to show a little something that you might find interesting. Just a little taste of Journey's End, really, from the perspective of the player in the underworld. Obviously, in plain view is a grand arrangement of a pylon, which of course is a used item, used for transportation to other pylons you are allowed to place throughout the map in Terraria 1.4. But this is really just a teaser trailer to show that it's on the way. The State of the Game update continued. That's right, console Terrarians. Terraria 1.4 is officially alive and running on consoles. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, we have to be clear that this is still a pre-alpha build and there is a lot of work left to do in order to deliver Journey's End to all of you. Once mobile 1.4 is wrapped and hotfixed, the almost full focus of the team will shift towards console. We will be spending lots of time looking at performance, user interface, gamepad, etc. As we have more to share and show there, we will, but we are pretty excited about what we have planned. As always, we know everyone wants to know when. We are not quite ready to dive into timelines just yet. However, once we get a bit further down the development path, we should have a better understanding of just how much remains in front of us to get done. That said, we surely hope you share our excitement at seeing at least a little taste of what is to come when Terraria Journey's End reaches consoles. Pretty cool. I felt like PS4 and Xbox users were due for a big news update, and they certainly got it this time. But with with those consoles out of the way, where does that leave the Switch? Well, I'm sorry to say there wasn't quite as much this time for Switch Terrarians, but they did give this announcement. As Switch Terrarians will have noticed, the long-awaited split-screen update for Terraria on Nintendo Switch released over the last few weeks. As with any release, crazy bugs have a chance to rear their pesky heads, in this case with some rather revealing results. In regards to this release, we have gathered a ton of feedback and information from the community around any new bugs, including the whole naked characters thing, which was related to a die bug. And Pipeworks will be looking into a final fix patch for Switch before they transition away from Terraria. Definitely want to have things in a good place before that, so stay tuned for more information here. So that's the Switch. Now, on to some major mobile Terraria news. Happy fall, everyone! We have admittedly been a bit quiet on the spoiler front this month, as it has been all hands on deck with bug fixing, polish, and iteration on a lot of the new features. For example, this week the team has been spending some focused time iterating around button mapping and user interface for our gamepad players. This is really beneficial work, as it will pay dividends for both our mobile and our console and Switch friends down the road. So, where are we at this point? Pretty excited. That's where we are right now. Why is that? Two reasons, really. Now, I'll just say that the Empress of Light really shows how far the developers have come from the first iterations of the game. It's not just an extremely colorful fight and a visually interesting fight, it's layered, it's a sophisticated sequence of boss attacks. It's quite the fight, and it puts even veteran players on their heels, at least initially. So good luck if you're trying to get through this fight on the touchscreen controls. I know it's not easy, you're going to need all the help you can get against the Empress. Or, instead of luck, you might want the Zenith Sword. That was certainly my trick, and it worked wonders. So maybe you'll follow in my footsteps and use that sword instead of going through the gauntlet of the Empress of Light with a more normal weapon. But whatever you do, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But they didn't just share the video. They also included an ocean biome screenshot featuring a retired pirate ship house, along with the caption saying, "What's that? You missed it?" We caught sight of this mysterious Z at the beach last weekend as well. And so that's what they shared for mobile Terraria, a healthy mobile news update, right? What's that? Oh, that's right, there was another news item. Well, they continued. So, what is the second thing that has us excited? We're amped up because it is almost October. And October is one of our favorite months. Who doesn't love the fall leaves, cool temperatures, Halloween, and the release of Terraria Journey's End on mobile? That's right, our current plan is to launch Terraria Journey's End on mobile in October. We aren't quite certain exactly what day yet, but the team is feeling confident enough in the work thus far and the work ahead that we are pushing towards an October release. If anything changes, either we arrive at an exact date or something goes horribly wrong and we have to push it out. Surely not. We will let you know immediately. So get excited, mobile Terrarians, for something awesome is coming your way very soon. We are looking forward to sharing the latest and greatest as development plows ahead for mobile and for consoles. Stay tuned. Well, how about that? You'll get to play through the Pumpkin Moon event on mobile 1.4 in time for Halloween, if all goes according to plan. So Halloween's going to become every Terrarian's favorite holiday at this rate. Now, also included in the state of the game for September were some tidbits about things like the updated soundtrack coming out along with 141, along with some community news. So if you're interested, I'll include a link to it in the video description below. But really, the elephant in the room is 1.4 for mobile. Man, so soon. I'm going to have to retire, I guess. I knew I should have focused on Minecraft. Just kidding. Anyway, that's all for this video, so thanks for watching. We probably won't have to wait until the October state of the game for some spoilers and news. Fingers crossed anyway. So I shall see you in the next video.
you.